Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Southwest Flavor. Happy Tuesday to everyone. We have a great show for you today. And our first guest is Kelly Straube from Dirty Cactus Soaps.
Yes.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, it's a wonderful morning. I think it's beautiful outside. We're just starting the monsoon, so it's a good time.
Yeah, that was kind of a strange storm. I mean, usually it doesn't rain in May.
No,
So-
I'm like, we're supposed to be in like July.
You're
July
right.
is when monsoons
Exactly.
start, but we're having like a sneak peek.
Yeah, but what a beautiful evening that was.
Yeah,
You
beautiful.
had thunder and, all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah,
So.
love it.
Yeah.
Storms are my favorite.
Oh, yeah, mine too. And just the way the desert smells after the storm.
Exactly. That's why I
Yeah.
love doing, things that actually smell like the desert because we have such amazing smells here.
Right, we do. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Absolutely. So I am Kelly Straube, and I moved here 11 years ago. I'm originally from Los Angeles, and I think that for me, Tucson was a natural place for me to come because I already had kind of some of the culture, growing up, everywhere around me, all my friends were Hispanic. And so moving to a culture that was, primarily Hispanic was wonderful for me. I was already used to the sight, sound, smells, and, everything like that. And
Right.
I had family that lived in Vegas. And so I
Okay.
had lived in Vegas for a while. So for me, it was kind of, the hot of Vegas and the culture kind of, LA together is Tucson, in a bit. So
Never thought of it that way.
yeah. And so the heat wasn't like terrible for me. And, the food and the people were already, pretty familiar to me. I
Right.
already, growing up, I learned how to like understand Spanish. I couldn't speak it perfectly, but like business wise, I could kind of hold my own.
Okay.
But then when I moved to Italy, it erased everything. So I can understand it more, but I can't speak it back. So I feel kind of one-sided, which is terrible. So I can hear what everyone's saying around me, but I can't really like respond unless you understand Italian, which doesn't really work out very well. But I started making soap just after COVID. I have always been very artsy and I love doing all things art, but I would always like do kind of different things. Since
Yeah.
I was little, I would try different things. And one of my friends, he always would have me make like his Christmas presents. And we'd be like, what are you doing this year? What are we doing this year? And it'd be like, okay, what form of art can I play with?
Yeah.
It was kind of like the ability for me to either do something I already knew or let's try something and I bet I can make something cool. Like let's do it in like kind of a controlled situation where you're not like throwing yourself completely into it. And he was not for it. He thought soap was going to tell people, I think you stink. And so he refused. And so for
Really?
3 years I begged him, like, I think we could make something really cool. Like this would be really fun. And he refused for 3 years. And then finally he was like, okay. But when I did it, I had a lot of fun with it. I'd already like kind of wanted to do it for several years. And of course, that's COVID times when everybody was on, TikTok and Insta and YouTube and everything.
Yeah.
And there was a million people, that were looking for other things to do. And I somehow found a soap vein and saw what people were doing and kind of like taught myself how to make soap. And then I thought, wow, what better way to really reflect where we live and the unique culture that we have here. But if we tap into that, people make soap, don't get me wrong,
Right.
but they don't really make it like I make it. They don't make it with the sights and the smells and the actual ingredients and the things like that. And so I started with soap and then I moved into freshies. Now I also do, some other things that are really fun. And I love it. I love the fact that I can feel more connected to the community, more connected to the landscapes and the smells and things like that. And I have a lot of fun with it.
Right. I think part of the reason that you like it so much is because you get to be creative.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. You get to use that creative space.
And I get to pull like all the type of things that I love to do. Like back in LA, I used to do like graphic design for one of my bosses.
Okay.
But now I get to do graphic design for freshies, which is really fun. And like for the labels and for the signage and for the marketing and stuff like that. And I told my dad, and I was like, it's almost like cheating because I feel like these are the things you have to do, but like I wanted to do those projects, before. Like, yes, I'm a secretary, for tax accounting and things like that in LA. But he'd be like, hey, I have this presentation. And I'd be like, oh, can I do it? And I was so excited, to use my creativity.
Right.
So now I get to do it in a lot of different ways, but for one company.
For your company.
Yeah, my company, exactly.
You get to do what you want.
Yes. And it's a little weird because, sometimes what you want isn't what customers want. So you also have to realize that, right?
Well, sure.
So I have people that always ask me for black ice, because every guy has black ice in their car, it seems, right? It's not my favorite. but I will.
Not really my favorite either.
Fair, thank you.
Yeah.
But your whole house will smell like it, because I started off in my home making everything, and my house would smell like it for like a month.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, okay. And so I have people in the same vein who ask me for patchouli, and I go, no, sorry. There are plenty of other people you can shop with. That's where I draw my line.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So how do you come up with some of your flavors or your smells? I mean, you talked about the desert smells.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for me, when I really decided to like lay into our culture, our festivals and things like that, I thought, okay, what can I do that really stands out that people already like celebrate us for, right? So there was Gem Show, there was Rodeo, and of course the monsoon, right? And our Sonoran sunsets and desert and, just the Sonoran, everything, everything, like the cacti and everything. And so when I was at the Gem Show, I had people, do you have something with a cactus on it? Do you have something with a cactus on it? And I had a few, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't like leaning into it as much because I thought it was a little too kitschy, But then I started realizing if I tapped into the smells, then that's something that you're not going to get anywhere else. So you might be able to find a cactus somewhere else, but the smells are going to be what's unique. And so I started out because there's so many places that you can buy fragrances from, but I started looking for like Southwest style. Or like cowboy style. I originally like entered into the search bar, and pineapple cilantro came up as one of them. Now cilantro, of course, is integral in Hispanic cooking, so of course that's a natural kind of segue. Pineapple not so much, but we have raspados and a million other things that we have, and so I was like, okay, I think that's a good way for me to like dip my toe into it, right? Like I'm one of those people that have the gene. I do not like cilantro. It needs to get away from me.
Really?
I do not like it at all. But in
wow.
the smell, like in the pineapple cilantro, it's great. So then I started playing because I watched something that said, if you want to have unique things that nobody else is going to have, you have to custom blend.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, well, how can I do that? And so you literally just take some Q-tips and you take all these different fragrances and you start dipping them and you go, okay, and you start playing. And so one of my best combos that I found was I wanted to do a guy soap, and I wanted it to be like deserty, fresh, like simple. I mean, I have a bunch of guys who do like fruity smells, don't get me wrong. Like you guys will buy like mango and, pineapple and things like that. But there's a line.
Yeah.
there's a weird line. And so I was like, what if I did more like just spa and natural? Because guys like those smells as well.
Right.
And so I found this one called Riverstone. And I was like, okay, I really like that one. And then I found this company in Texas that does some of like the Chicano, like, smells and, tastes and different things like that. So they had a poblano pepper. And I was like, what if I put those together?
Really?
And so I took it and I was like, oh, that I think smells amazing. And so I made what's now my crazy cactus bar, and it's Riverstone and poblano pepper. And it's just a touch of poblano, right? So it's not like burn your nose, like no one's going to sniff you and be like, oh, like that hurts, but it's just a hint to where it's our culture. I've had people even say like, that smells like a shampoo I had when I was growing up in Mexico.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you still get the fresh smell, but
Yes.
then you have that hint of the poblano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, we have fresh ingredients, and like, when you think of salsa, like they don't all have to be hot. You can have a more chunky salsa where it's more just, the fresh tomatoes and the fresh onions, and you have, that squirt of lime.
Right.
It's fresh and it's clean, right?
Right.
So yeah, you can add pepper into that, and you can have the cilantro, and like I said, to me it tastes like soap anyway. But like, but you have those flavors and those nods anyway to the freshness, especially like, anybody who eats down in like Rocky Point or anything like fish tacos or anything.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
all about fresh and natural and
Oh,
clean
yeah.
ingredients. So I thought, let's do that. Especially with the monsoon scent. The monsoon scent was really fun because I found a petrichor smell, and I was like, that smells good. I mean, it does smell like the asphalt. That's not really our rain.
Oh, okay.
And then I found one that was wet creosote.
Oh.
And I was
okay.
like, that is. And then Juan JD was like, actually, can you put those two together? Like, I don't want that one or that one. I want them together. And I go, let's do that. So we mixed it, and it ended up being perfect. Now I call that one Desert Monsoon. And people love it because they smell it and they go, oh my God, that does smell like our rain. It's not Chicago's rain. It's not Seattle's rain. It's not, Florida's rain.
Right.
It's
our
Tucson rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I love
And is that in your freshies or is that in your soap?
That's generally my freshies. I
Okay.
do have some pieces of it that that I put in some soaps, and so one of my most exciting things that I'm working on now is the Desert Monsoon line. So right now I'm actually steeping creosote flowers in olive oil so that I can actually make a creosote bar. And so I'm playing with the idea of, do I want to make, that bar that has the creosote very like matchy and have that scent as well?
Right.
I don't know. One part of me says like it's a little too matchy. The other part of me says that's what people love about it. But I also have one called Over the Rainbow, and it does smell like just fresh and clean, like kind of after the rain, and people love that one. So that one I do like a transparent bar, and I put little clouds in it because that's what it is every day for, a couple months and things like that. So I really love like the fact that we have kind of a little bit of leeway, like the Desert Monsoon scent is spot on, right?
Yeah.
But within the rain, we have different culture and different feels, to the things we do in the rain and the things that we, have to do in the rain, like I said, Juan JD with Roofs Are Hot, of course, like his whole thing is, I thought, what if we did a freshie of a cloud? Because as soon as the monsoons roll in, that's when people need to fix their roofs, right? So
okay.
that's when they're the busiest.
Right.
So then we did an actual cloud and we made it smell like the rain. So then it's all about the branding, because
Right.
if that's what they have and they step in their car and it smells like the rain, and the freshies generally last anywhere from 30 days to 90 days, but some people say they last up to a year. So if you're getting in your car and you're smelling that all the time and you're seeing that logo, then that smell then connects with that logo. So then if you can brand not only with your colors, but also shapes and also smells, then it gets you a step above the rest.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I even asked
Little
him.
marketing class.
Exactly, right? But what I actually asked him, I was like, can we put fringe on the bottom so that it like looks like the rain coming down? And he was like, no. I was like, okay, fair. Maybe you're not for a roofing company, but it's actually like really cool, the possibilities that you can do to actually brand yourself within the scent world.
That's true. And you're, like you mentioned, you're using all of your different senses, connecting everything.
Yes.
So when you get into that car, and you smell it and you see it and, it triggers all your senses.
It's wild too that it takes like 7 touch points to get someone to remember you.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong, you can pass a business card and you can give a koozie and you can give a pen and that's all wonderful. Don't get me wrong. If you need to write a check these days, who knows, but
Right.
you need to sign something, you might pick up that pen.
Sure.
But you're not going to pick up that pen 15 times a day.
Right.
But you're probably going to get in your car 15 times, on some days,
Right. Sure.
So I feel like you got to be smart sometimes with limited budgets, in this day and age, in our community, in our economy as well, like you got to make every dollar count. And so if you're going to put money into it, I want to make that work for you.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, let's take a quick break and we're going to go visit some sponsors. We will be right back in just a couple minutes.
Hey Tucson, why do we accept pain as normal just because we're over 40? Nearly 8 out of 10 Americans suffer with back pain. At Wellness Chiropractic, we help people after car accidents with chronic neck and back pain, numbness tingling down the arms. If you're like me, you like to spend time outside with the family, hiking, biking, everything. Don't let that pain stop you. Wellness Key Chiropractic, we help that body move better so you can be the better version of yourself.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Tucson summers don't play fair. Before you spend thousands of dollars, get the facts. Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. We've been your local family-owned choice for 25 years. This May, we're offering a free second opinion on any licensed HVAC contractor's quote of $1,000 or more. Get the peace of mind you deserve. Call us today at 520-492-0748 or make your appointment online at picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license or a car accident, contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Piper Family Painting. We believe great paint does more than just change a color. It protects a home and the people inside of it. From careful prep to the final coat, our team shows up with pride, precision, and respect for your property. We don't rush, we don't cut corners. We paint it like it's our own home, because in this Tucson community, it is. Piper Family Painting, bringing new colors to the Old West.
We are back. You're watching Southwest Flavor. Check us out every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. So, Kelly, you have an event coming up.
I do, yes.
Yeah.
So normally I'm at the Tucson Mountain Market Sundays, so Sunday mornings generally. But we have started to do a night market in the same location.
Okay.
But to give people a little bit better opportunity to come out if they're more sensitive to heat,
Sure.
especially if they have dogs and kids.
Yeah.
We at the Tucson Mountain Market have so many dogs and kids that come out on a regular basis.
Oh, wow.
We
Okay.
have such a wonderful community that surrounds us. And so we have the Tucson Estates, of course, which are a little bit older community, of course.
Right.
But then we have on the other side all the housing developments that have
Right.
budding families.
Yeah.
And so we have a lot of people who come regularly, and we have people who come every single week.
Oh, wow.
And yet we still have every single week someone who says, I've always wanted to come. This is my first time. And so we've been going for about a year and a half.
Okay.
But the night markets, we just started this month. Actually, May was the first month we did them. This Friday, we're doing one. It's going to be from, I believe, 6 to 9. And we are doing it at the 4775 West Ajo Highway. So it's in between like Kenny and Camino de Oeste.
Oh.
So if you drive out on Ajo, drive west, and you pass Mission, you're going to kind of go up a little hill, and then we're going to be there. And we're going to be on your left-hand side or the south side.
Okay.
And usually, I mean, it's kind of wonderful because we have so many people that have been coming out that we have lots of parking, which is wonderful, but people were literally like walking, all the way to the, from the different parking lots, because we're in between Starbucks and Dutch Brothers. So people were parking at both and then coming in, even though we had parking, they were full. So we really want to invite everybody who hasn't been out there. I mean, it's like the only West Side market, and there's a lot of actual West Side residents that, they live out in Picture Rocks, and they live all the way in Avra Valley,
Sure,
and they
sure.
live
Or 3 Points or
100, so many 3 points,
Yeah.
And we have these people who are working hard. They're making fresh, baked goods and jams and jellies. We have a guy who has his own beehives. So he has wildflower honey and mesquite honey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's delicious. And then he does like sweet jams or spicy jams, but he also has like sugar-free jams for people who are, diabetic or have to be sensitive to that.
Sure.
Oh, and we have such really great, amazing food. Like
Gonna
we
have
have
to check it out.
Oh, please do. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
been a Dominican Republic food truck kind of thing that's been setting up. We
okay.
had barbecue. Sometimes we have smoked meat. Sometimes we have like a sushi truck. We have kettle corn. I mean, it's really a wonderful thing if you want to like do something with the family on a Friday evening.
Right.
It's nice and cool. Everybody's, homework is done, weekend vibes have set in, and it's like, what do you want to do? It doesn't take too much. You just come out and walk around a little bit and, stretch your legs. It's great for everybody, especially these days and age. People are on their phones and they're just kind of hunched over. It's nice to get out, stretch your legs, you're out under the stars. Like, it's beautiful. There's twinkling lights, and we have like blow up, little things to help with the lighting. And
Okay.
then all the vendors have lighting as well.
And not only that, I mean, this time of year, from 6 to like 7:30, it's still light.
Yeah. There's light. You know,
Yeah,
if you
but-
come in the very beginning, there's still light.
Right. But the sun's not directly,
No.
above you.
Yeah.
So you
So it's
still
not
get the
beating
light.
down.
Yeah, it's not beating down.
Yeah,
on you.
exactly. It's
You don't get that
enjoyable.
full heat. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've been getting, you know, because like we talked about, like there's this weird like pre-monsoon, we've been getting breezes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So during Sundays, normally like last year, we kind of joked around last week and we were kind of saying like last year, we didn't get rained on once for the monsoon. We didn't really have too much wind. Like we just got, like we bobbed and weaved like every storm, you know? But this year we've been getting hit a little bit more. And so the wind has been kind of, you know, attacking us a little bit more. So a couple weeks ago, we had a little bit stronger wind and we had one of the vendors, her tent literally blew down the way, you know, and so wind is not always a friend. But if we have a little bit of a breeze,
is good.
yeah, a breeze
Wind is bad.
helpful. Yeah.
I understand that. I'm a cyclist, so
Yeah.
I'm always fighting the wind.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it can help or hurt you.
Yes. Yeah. And it seems like when you're cycling, the wind is always in your face, no matter which direction you're going.
Fair. Yeah.
And
I
some
need to
of it's
get back on a bike.
psychological, but yeah.
Fair. Well, like, I guess, I mean, you know, from a non-cycler's like point of view, because I haven't ridden a bike in a hot minute, but from a non-cycler's point of view, people would think, oh, that cools you off, right? Like it makes you feel better. And it's like,
Not really.
Not really,
You're
yeah.
just fighting it.
Yeah.
It's like going uphill, you know. It's
oh
just,
gosh, yeah. And you feel the burn.
Yeah, you feel the burn.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah.
So tell us a little about the your freshies and the different shapes that you can make.
So the fun thing is the saguaros. Like I said, everybody really wants the cactus these days, right? So saguaros are really fun and they're just simple and easy and they're classic. So like I had Karina from Lynch Roofing. She got 8 of these to give her vendors after her wedding to say thank you. You know, so it was just quick and simple. We did a couple different scents, and it was just a really great thank you gift for them to have. You know, like wasn't too much. And a freshie in this size is only $8. So it's affordable, you know?
Right.
And then with this size, this is literally the most common size that people do like branded freshies, right?
Right.
Because it's small enough that it's still going to make their car smell wonderful and it's going to brand them. You're still going to get a clear image where you can, get your branding across, but it's not so big that there's something like, jangling in their, in their review mirror or anything like that. And then, so this size is really good. And we start off with a cardstock.
Okay.
So we print the cardstock however you want it to. So some people just want a logo. Some people want to add like a QR code. Some people want to make sure that the actual logo and the colors match perfectly, right? So you see like there's multitude of colors for this particular school. So we did the freshies in all those colors. So some person might got a yellow one, someone might have got an orange one, someone might have got a burgundy one, which is really great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so this one in particular, it's actually pine. So it's nice and fresh and clean. But what we did is we always put a sticker on the back so that it doesn't block your branding. So if you see, like, if you put it in this way, all you see is their branding. Right? This way, it has my information so they know where they got it, especially if anybody has any questions about allergies or ingredients or anything like that. They have my information. But for this one, we put thank you teachers because it was for teacher appreciation. And then we named it Mount Lemon, even though it's pine. And I could have just said pine and that would have been just fine, right?
Right.
But I really like, again, connecting to our culture.
Sure.
So like the one scent that I have, there's this one that I'm making a huge batch of, right? So they start,
agave.
Citrus agave, and I love it. And so they start out as beads.
Oh, okay.
They start out as beads and they're plain, and then you mix the fragrance in with them, and that's why they're in this big bucket because you kind of have to like roll them around so they all get coated because otherwise it would all get kind of stuck on the bottom, right? So you have to roll them around, and this particular batch took over a week for them to really soak into the beads, and there's a ratio of how much you can put in. So I mean, you can always go less, of course, but then why would you?
Right.
You know, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess with black ice you might, but like, but with this one, you want it to be nice and strong and good, and you want something to last, right? And so with this one, almost hourly, you shake them around. You do the little shake, 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 and you roll them around and you do the whole 9 yards. And then once they're nice and soaked in, that's when you can put them in to the molds. And then generally I use like a Silpat, and then you put like the cardstock down, and then you put these like that, and then you pour the beads on top, and then they bake. So they bake in the oven at 325 for about 13 minutes. So everyone always goes, oh my gosh, they're going to melt. And I go, I've already put them through the test. You
Right.
know, they've
Yeah.
already been in the oven.
Yeah, so
That's
they're not
how
going to
they
melt
get-
in your hot car.
No. Now, the one thing I will tell people is like, I strongly suggest using a sun shield, you know, because that helps anyway, for your interior anyway. But when these hang, as long as it's on the other side of your sunshade, they're not getting like, you know, straight direct sunlight. They can survive some direct sunlight. That's not a problem. But I just tell people, don't get them stuck in between your sunshade and your windshield
okay.
because that's like the surface of the sun. You know, like they will just melt. So I had a llama that it got stuck, and I like tugged at it, like what's happening, and it turned into a giraffe. So I would not recommend that. But there's some fun ones that you can do because like I have the state of Arizona, and you can put a heart or a star like right down where Tucson is, which is really
wow.
fun.
Yeah.
I have houses, so like for realtors, if they want to put their business information there, that's fine. I have a key for realtors as well.
Okay.
Like I said, I have the saguaros, but I have 3 different styles of saguaros. So I have a potted one, this one, and a different version of a saguaro potted one, which is kind of weird. But then in the circles, you can literally do anything.
Sure.
So you can
Oh,
do the
yeah.
bigger circles or the little circles, but you can have them smell like anything. You can put anything on them. I had a DJ that we were going to put a line of the mirrored tiles so it would look kind of like a disco ball
Right,
in their
yeah.
car because he does wedding venues, right? And or wedding boutiques and wedding festivals and all those kind of things, right? So you go there and these people, they're looking for somebody that they're going to need in a year or two.
Yeah.
Well, your first impression's gone.
Yeah.
You know, they've met, 70, of you at that point. So they have, usually a wedding binder and they're not going to remember you really. Like we'd like them to, but
Sure.
there's a weird line also between being memorable and being cheesy and corny and like, I don't want that at my wedding. You know, you want to be classy, you want to be beautiful, and you want your brand to stick out, like whether that brand is a vibe for your wedding or for your company or just thank yous for any businesses. For some people, they put stickers or candy in each order. But if you had one of these that said thank you in there, then great. Now they're going to think of you constantly. If you put the QR code that, either goes to a coupon that they could use or goes directly back to your ordering site or a referral site, it's really wonderful. I also tell people like realtors, like if you put that on like a current listings, you can change that, all the time. And then anybody can, click on that. So if you're like, yeah, I just bought this house, it's really wonderful. And, someone gets in your car to go to lunch and they're like, yeah, tell me about your realtor. They're like, actually just scan that. It's a tool.
It is,
right?
yeah.
And so I love, like I said, making the different smells that really smell like, something that's unique, but also naming them something fun. So even though like I have a sugar scrub that is actually pink sands, which is really popular with women, right? Like everybody loves pink sands, right? But pink sands more sounds tropical and more like, I'm going to Honolulu or, Cancun or something, but that's not Tucson, right? So I named it Prickly Pink.
Oh, perfect.
Right? Like
Yeah.
our prickly pear, but prickly pink, so it's just fun, things like that. And so when you shop with me in terms of for soap, they're probably going to have, some fun names. Not all of them have that, but I also have, the gemstone line as well. So not everything needs to be cactus, related. It can be gemstone related and things like that, which is really fun because we have 500,000 people who come here like practically for, rocks, gems, geodes, and crystals, once a year.
Right.
But no one's making a soap that looks like a rock or a gem or a geode or crystal. So I do. I make them look like, geodes, and I make them look like they have like crystals coming out, and it's hilarious. But people go, yeah, but I wouldn't want to like shower with that. And I'm like, why? It's soap. And they go, yeah, I know this part is soap, but that part is going to hurt. I go, but that's soap. And they go, yeah, I know this part is soap. I'm like, no, the whole thing is soap. And they're like, what? Like they can't fathom it, right? And so between our desert and the rodeo culture, because I have an entire line I call Cactus Ranch, which is just horse and cows and, things like that. Why not? Why not make it, fun and,
You're having fun doing it.
I'm having fun, yeah. If Dr. Squatch can do it, why can't I?
So tell us real quick, how do people get a hold of you? How did they find you?
Absolutely. You can go to dirtycactussoaps.com. You can also find me on Insta or Facebook, of course. I am here locally now. I just opened my new studio, so I am on Speedway and Frontage within the Rocker World and McCall & Company warehouse. So you can come and see all the beautiful rocks and gems and geodes, the ones that one day we might be able to afford, the really giant, gorgeous ones, right? But you can actually come and actually smell them. So it's one thing to shop online and say, ooh, that looks pretty. I'd really like that. It's another thing to pick it up and go, ooh,
Right. That's the one.
That's
Yeah.
the one, exactly.
Right.
And then see what emotions are evoked from some of those smells. Because some things you're going to want to buy for something, either to add into a basket or as a gift, like maybe your mom or your dad, like obviously Mother's Day just finished, but Father's Day is coming up. What do you buy for dad? Like, do you buy socks? Do you buy, a couple shirts, like a tie, like what do you buy for dad, right? But I love making baskets and things like that you can come and smell and say, this is more my dad, this is fun, come and try and we can make something up, like that's the glorious thing about being local and being somewhere that you can actually come see, even at the markets, but also at the studio where we can pick up a bottle and you can smell it. We can make something that's truly designed for someone you love.
Fantastic. Well, Kelly, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to take another break, visit some sponsors, and we will be right back with Southwest Flavor.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Tucson summers don't play fair. Before you spend thousands of dollars, get the facts. Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. We've been your local family-owned choice for 25 years. This May, we're offering a free second opinion on any licensed HVAC contractor's quote of $1,000 or more. Get the peace of mind you deserve. Call us today at 520-492-0748 or make your appointment online at picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
Hey Tucson, why do we accept pain as normal just because we're over 40? Nearly 8 out of 10 Americans suffer with back pain. At Wellness Chiropractic, we help people after car accidents with chronic neck and back pain, numbness tingling down the arms. If you're like me, you like to spend time outside with the family, hiking, biking, everything. Don't let that pain stop you. Wellness Key Chiropractic, we help that body move better so you can be the better version of yourself.
Life is all about change and growth. You grow from renting to buying, your kids grow from toddling to driving, and then you grow from working to retiring. Is your insurance agent growing through life with you? I'm your local Allstate agent, Brittany Gutman. My team and I can help you navigate all those changes through home, auto, and life insurance. You're in good hands with the Brittany Gutman Allstate Insurance family. Call me at 520-797-7811 or email bgutman@allstate.com.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting Track, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
All right, we are back. And our next guest is PJ Gomez with ElevateEdAZ, Arizona.
You got it.
Yeah.
That's us.
Yeah.
I'm on staff at the Green Valley Sahuarita Chamber of Commerce, and I
Okay.
represent the ElevateEdAZ program here.
Okay.
It's a large initiative. Should we give a little personal bio on myself?
Sure.
Because I heard you in the last hour say that you're a
let's pull your
cyclist.
microphone down just a little bit, just so it's not covering your face.
I heard you last hour saying that you were a cyclist, and I too am a cyclist.
Oh, fantastic.
Started racing bikes when I was 11 years old. and
Okay.
I just love it, and the weather
yeah.
here, of course, is
Oh,
ideal
yeah.
for that.
Yeah, you can do it all year long, so it's one of the perfect places
It's
to
nice,
be a cyclist. Yeah.
It's nice to hear that the pro triathletes come here from all over the world to train on mountain limit. I haven't ridden it, but I've taken my mountain bike up there and rode to the top and back.
Yeah,
It's a lot of fun. No more mountain bikes. It's all road bikes for me now.
Oh, okay.
Not that you
I
can
still
tell.
I still do both.
Well, do you?
So yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Oh, it is.
I miss the mountain biking. So our ElevateEdAZ program, it's a pilot program here in this part of Southern Arizona. It started as an initiative in the Phoenix Chamber Foundation. And I
Okay.
understand that you were in a chair in the Oravelli Chamber.
I was.
I just
yep.
learned that this morning listening to one of your other podcasts.
Ah, okay.
So I didn't know you were
Yeah,
involved.
I termed out last year. So
right.
yeah. But I spent 6 years on the board, and then last year I was the chair.
Oh, that's a good place to be. I really
is.
like working at the chamber, so I'm on staff there as the business partnership coordinator.
Ah,
So when I took the role, I thought I was going to be dealing with high school kids, and then when I understood what I was doing and I got hired, it was I acquisitioned businesses to provide internships or job shadows for the high school students that now, of course, encompass Sahuarita Unified School District.
Okay.
So this initiative started in the Phoenix Chamber Foundation with 25 schools in the past 5 years, very successful. And now it's moved to this part of Southern Arizona, which encompasses our area here and all the way to Sahuarita Unified School District.
Okay.
So what I do is I, again, acquisition to businesses, and I have 2 college and career coaches on each campus that feed me students that are already in their 2nd or 3rd year in their field of study. So they're taking CT courses, the college and career technical education courses.
Right.
So they're pretty vested. They're very impressive students. It's not like when I was a kid and, vocations was, the lower performing kids going to metal shop and wood shop and auto shop.
Right.
And,
Just to kind of waste some time sometimes.
And that's a lot of, I'm finding in this past year, I've been doing this for a year, that a lot of the businesses think that that's what we're doing. We're just trying to place kids in a summer job, but that's not the case at all. These are very high performing kids, and again, they're in their 2nd or 3rd year in their field of study in engineering, architectural drafting, law enforcement. They're really vested, and since they are in their 2nd or 3rd year, which is one of their qualifications to be eligible for an internship, they're already doing it live hands-on in school. So when we get them placed into an internship or a job shadow, they get real hands-on life experiences, workplace etiquette, even learning how to clock in and do payroll. The soft skills are important. So from that point on, they're expanding their high school education. And once they're graduated, they have certificates in these different courses. And full circle would be like Honeywell here, up in north where you live up in Oro Valley.
Right. I live right in between Oro Valley and Marana.
Yeah, so Honeywell is all the way up there. So Honeywell is one of our big partners. They onboard 50 interns a year from the high schools. It's a lot for high school students. It's a big thing. So Big Circle is, and they hire 30% of them. So every year we'll get 12 to 15 students hired as employees at Honeywell.
Nice.
And it's full circle because if we go as staff to tour that facility, we get to see the students in person. Hey, I know that kid. He was in high school last year, and now he's here working. So full circle is also, our aim is economic mobility in our communities. So when we have a student that doesn't have to leave town to chase his college career or even finish college and then, go off and live somewhere else, they can come back here, and there's enough enterprise here where if they want to raise their family where they grew up in Sahuarita, Green Valley, or Tucson, they can come back here and raise their family. They don't have to leave.
I mean, that's a huge thing because a lot of the college kids don't stay here. They go off to a bigger market where there's more opportunities. But if they knew that there was opportunities here, and if they had the skills and the training, and they already have their, one foot in the door, they're probably not going to leave here.
And that's the key thing that they know when they're in a place of internship or even a one-day job shadow where we take, instead of just one intern, we'll bring a whole group of 6 to 8 students, maybe even 10. Pima County Sheriff took 20, and we'll bring a whole classroom essentially with the teacher and another adult, and they get to tour the facility. So it's a real eye-opener when they get into a place like that, like the law and public safety students. Some of them think, I'm going to arrest people and book them. They don't realize there's an HR department. There's a whole fleet of cars that need to be maintained. So there's auto mechanics. And then there's, the evidence room and the crime lab and the forensics. There's a lot involved in just that one field of study. So they do get a real eye-opener when they get into the internship. Like, I didn't realize that we had all these other opportunities.
Right,
in
there's
the
buildings
same
to maintain, and like you said, there's the lab. So there's the cold storage, so HVAC, as part of it. So there's a lot of things in there.
And that's just one field of study. Our whole initiative, my role is to partner the educators, the students, with the businesses to facilitate meaningful work-based learning opportunities between the two. So what happens is they get exposed to it. When a business partner comes on board, and it's simple onboarding, they just give us their information, and then we find the students in that field of study to place in that job. So they're going to get, again, workforce-based learning more than just high school, but they're also the businesses are going to be able to vet students to see if, would I hire this kid in the future?
Sure.
And so far, 7 out of 8 for summer or for spring, I should say, hired them for summer.
Oh,
So they didn't even
nice.
want to let their interns go. They liked
Yeah.
them so much, 7 out of 8, that they said, hey, can we keep this kid through the summer? And it worked out really well because the students like, hey, I got a job. It's the
Right.
thing that I love. I like working here because so far it's been a pretty good match. The students love the place they're at, and the businesses like the students because, again, they're very impressive. It's not like, again, when I was a kid where they're just low performers are going to go into this area. We have 10 top high wage, high demand programs or industries that are in the program. And that's architectural drafting. We have bioscience, computer science, construction, engineering, aviation. And these are, again, not only are the students impressive, but the courses and the facilities are really impressive. At Walden Grove High School, down where I live, they've dumped tens of thousands of dollars into each area. So when you walk into the law enforcement room, you'll see, just like the rest of them, the teacher's area, his desk, the student's area, and then a warehouse. And in the law enforcement, they have a big 30-foot shooting simulator, the screen. And the police department come to the high school to use their facility because they don't have anything like that. Aviation has a flight simulator. You can get into the cockpit of a jet.
Oh,
They
wow.
have an area to repair helicopters. This is at the high school.
Man.
So they're really advanced and they're really vested. The schools are vested. The students are vested. So when the businesses help understand this, then they can see, oh, this is not just a summer job, or we're not just, having some kid clean tables and sweep the floor.
Yeah.
It's nothing like that.
Yeah. They're actually gaining the skills that they need to be, go into this career. Wow, that's fantastic. I had no idea that the high schools down there had, a flight simulator. I mean, that's
This all happened in the past 2 years at Walden Grove High School. Because in
okay.
addition to that, you'll be very impressed. When you go into the film and radio production, they have a studio just like yours. They have 2 sound booths. They're all fancy with walnut. The wood is all shellacked. It looks really nice.
Wow.
And then next to it is the film with the green room as big as this. And the students can make their own commercials. They could make their own editing. They could do their podcast. It's real. The film and the radio production is not part of our program, but it exists at the high school. So if somebody like you said, well, I'll take an intern. I want to see what these kids are about.
Yeah.
I need some help. We could feed somebody here, paid or unpaid. That's another thing, is the businesses choose to pay or not pay. In the summertime when there's no school, they pay.
Right.
But otherwise, the school takes on most of the liability throughout the school year, spring and fall. So there's all these little logistics that we iron out when we onboard people.
right.
And we've never had an incident, no injuries or anything like that.
Well, that's good. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the companies that are taking these interns on, I mean, they definitely look for the safety aspects of it too, because they don't want those liabilities.
Sure.
Yeah.
And part of the eligibility is they have to, of course, have a resume, and they do a mock interview with their teachers or counselors.
Right. We were talking about that.
Oh yes, we did. So when they do get into the actual interview, it's a regular hiring process. They're going to learn how to interview. They're going to see the hiring process. They're going to get hired. They're going to get a time card or however they clock in nowadays. And they're going to learn all of that as well. But in addition, they're going to get paid. So if the business decides to pay them, then they have a job that they're already making money in, even before they even graduate high school and go off to college.
Right. We were talking yesterday when we were talking on the phone that I was in DECA, back in the 80s when I was in high school. And we did the same thing. They brought in business owners or business leaders, and we did mock interviews. We had a resume. They taught us how to make a resume. And then we did the mock interviews, and then we got graded on it. And they're like, well, these are your strong points. These are your weak points. This is what you need to improve on. So it was good. It was good for a 16 and 17-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have that. We had to practice with our moms and dads when I was a kid, and luckily my parents were smart to say, this is what you need to do and not do. And one of the things that sticks in my mind as a child was, or as a high schooler, was make sure you spell everything out. Write out that, you're from whatever city, California. Don't just abbreviate, and make sure you punctuate and make sure everything's capitalized that needs to be capitalized.
Yes.
So that was a big thing when we were kids, because everything was handwritten.
Yeah.
Nowadays you can just make a resume and send it to somebody, but you
Right.
still have to, now you could use AI. You could use AI to edit.
Yeah,
your
the world has
resume.
changed with AI, definitely.
But I had to
Yeah.
learn all that on my own. There was no coaching, in other words, to tell me how to interview, except in my own home.
Right.
Luckily, I had older brothers. And then in addition to the that piece, the onboarding and the hiring process, they also are going to get right off of the bat how to, be in a business environment, proper etiquette and
Sure.
and in soft skills, the functionality of,
Yeah.
do a task and then come back and report to me, or do a task and we're going to critique you and
Yeah.
tell you what you did right. And so they need to be able to take a little bit of criticism.
That's
if
what I was
there's
going to say.
any.
Yeah, they have to be able to accept that.
It's part
yeah.
of their growth.
Mhm.
And again, the businesses have been reporting that our students are really impressive. So it's working. It's a really good program,
Yeah.
and the students are learning, and the businesses are happy. And again, like Honeywell, they could use this program, the businesses themselves, to vet students for future
Sure.
new hires.
Future,
If they
yeah.
are going to hire somebody, like the physical therapy, that's 6 to 8 years. That's a doctorate. So they're not going to get hired next year. But if they go off to college, they can come back if the physical therapist liked them and said, hey, when you're done with your school, come back. Or come back next year and we'll hire you as a tech while you're in school. And that just happened actually this summer.
Okay. I can see that happening.
We had
Yeah.
3 at Progressive Physical Therapy down there in Green Valley. And he hired 2 and kept 1.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and she's not even done with school. She's barely starting. So if she does need a job down there, I'm sure they're going to hire her when she's ready. So that's the beauty of the program. That's full circle again. When
Right.
they get to stay in their area and chase their career down and stay here and raise a family here.
Fantastic. Well, let's take a quick sponsor break, and we will be back in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting Track, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
Piper Family Painting. We believe great paint does more than just change a color. It protects a home and the people inside of it. From careful prep to the final coat, our team shows up with pride, precision, and respect for your property. We don't rush. We don't cut corners. We paint it like it's our own home, because in this Tucson community, it is. Piper Family Painting, bringing new colors to the Old West.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Tucson summers don't play fair. Before you spend thousands of dollars, get the facts. Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. We've been your local family-owned choice for 25 years. This May, we're offering a free second opinion on any licensed HVAC contractor's quote of $1,000 or more. Get the peace of mind you deserve. Call us today at 520-492-0748 or make your appointment online at picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
Life is all about change and growth. You grow from renting to buying, your kids grow from toddling to driving, and then you grow from working to retiring. Is your insurance agent growing through life with you? I'm your local Allstate agent, Brittany Gutman. My team and I can help you navigate all those changes through home, auto, and life insurance. You're in good hands with the Brittany Gutman Allstate Insurance family. Call me at 520-797-7811 or email bgutman@allstate.com.
We are back talking with PJ Gomez. This sounds like a fantastic program. I'm hoping that it will get expanded to the Tucson area and Vail and maybe even Marana and Oro Valley.
Our intentions are nationwide. So from here, we're looking for Vail and Tucson next.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to be next year or the following year. If it was up to me, it would be now.
Right.
So it's going to happen. It's just a matter of our success here, which we have a lot of traction. There's good momentum going into the fall already.
Mhm.
I'm already onboarding. I think I have 9 businesses onboarded for fall.
Oh,
and
wow.
We're not even in summer yet. So
Yeah.
the summer students just got hired and just started this week, actually, because
Okay.
they just graduated last week. So
Right.
the summer program for interns is June through the end of July. And then in August, we'll interview for September through December for the fall. And, it's super exciting that we do have this momentum and the success, because we do intend on going to Vail and here to Tucson.
Okay. Cool. Well, tell us some of the benefits for the businesses that want to be involved.
Well, the big thing is, again, they get to vet new hires, fresh
Right.
talent for free. That's a big thing, because there's a little a gap between running ads, paying for ads, bringing people in, them showing up, and then
Yes.
hiring and interviewing.
Yeah.
I myself run a solar operation. I'm right around the corner on Camino del Martin.
Oh,
so I
wow.
do my hiring and
Okay.
interviewing right here at Icon Power
Yeah.
on the side. But staff on ElevateEdAZ, it's a lot to have to run an ad and who shows up and who doesn't.
Yes.
With this, there's already, not only are they going to have higher retention because these kids are vested, they have skin in the game. They're in their second and third year in their course of study, but they are also going to not have to pay for that ad or wait to see
Yes.
who does and does not show up. These
Right.
kids are already there. In fact, we onboard the business partners first, and then I'll say, hey, I have 4 students for Pima County Sheriff. Can you send me 4? And then we'll send their resumes in, their applications in. They'll interview, and the process starts from there.
Okay.
So it's very much that the businesses are going to get not only a well-vetted student, students that are disciplined. Most of them are showing up to school, and most of them are not being late. We can't promise that to the businesses,
Sure.
but generally they're higher functioning. They're getting good grades, and they're vested.
Yeah.
So having that piece, the skin in the game, is a big thing because some businesses will hire a tech, like I was talking about physical therapy. They'll hire a tech off the street, kids on their phone, and there's no patience. So I'm just going to sit around. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Go file some charts or whatever it is. So with our students, they're really engaged and they're really enthusiastic about being there. And if they're getting paid, they're probably that much more enthusiastic. But even the internships that are unpaid, the students are there to learn. And the businesses understand that this is a mentorship. When they give us a job description, it can't say, again, physical therapy. It can't say physical therapist because that's a 6 to 8 year education and it's a high pay.
Yeah.
And it's not minimum wage. So it has to say internship or physical therapy tech or physical therapy assistant intern. So if the job description states internship, not only are we satisfying the state laws, but the business understands that they're there to teach, they're mentoring, and the students come in knowing that they're there to learn. So they're not just taking a summer job or a fall job or after school job. It's there to learn and get these skills that we discussed and to make sure that they are prepared. When they finish high school and graduate, they're not just getting a high school diploma, they're getting certificates in a bunch of different areas. And I didn't know this until recently. The construction students, like if they go into plumbing, there's like 4 or 5 certificates that they can get in addition to their high school graduation.
Wow,
So I was like, whoa, these guys really get OSHA certified? Why does a plumber need to be OSHA certified? But they'll have all this stuff for when they do go out. So, my son's an Eagle Scout, and I was a Boy Scout leader for 15 years. Very involved in the community. I worked with the food bank, Boy Scouts. I coached baseball for 11 years. I was a leader in the Boy Scouts for 15 years. Taught martial arts for like 37 years. So I really know how to communicate with the youth of different ages. But when you have an application that says Eagle Scout, if you're going for a fire department or police department, they look at that first.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, it's a big thing. So if you have certificates in that field of study, it's the shoo-in, not guaranteed job over somebody else, but more than likely you're at the top of the list when you're.
You kind of have more points,
Definitely. And some places have, if you're trying to get in the fire department, there could be 80,000 applicants for 2 positions or 40,000 for 1 job. So it's not easy. You have to know somebody and you have to be good at it.
Right.
Top performer. So this is a big way for the students to get ahead.
It's fantastic. Yeah, it is. And keep our local talent here, so that they can have a good paying job, good paying career and raise their family here.
That's full circle for me. That's what I like the most is that they could stay here and raise their family here if they choose to.
Yeah, if they choose
I
to.
didn't grow up here, but I've been here 20 years and I love it. I'm happy that my son was pretty much raised here.
Right. Well, PJ, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Happy to talk.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on sometime again.
Sure. I would love to be here.
Okay, sounds good. All right, that's another episode of Southwest Flavor. Check us out every Tuesday.